Hello world, today I will be continuing making some progress on my cutscene engine. I think last time I left off I was rethinking a bit of the design. Previously I was thinking about just using RAM to load stuff from the game engine. Which is kind of silly upon thinking about it a bit more. Basically, yeah, I had this idea of instead of jumping from, basically this would be the in-game state main engine. Instead of going from here directly to the cut scene state, what I should do is just have some kind of prep cutscene that just basically will load what scene to render and what bank that belongs to. That will just be done in this state. And at that, the arguments for this could be passed from when the boss is defeated or whatever other state. Basically just set the variables here, then in this state things get prepared for the actual rendering. So yeah, I think that's where I left off. And I was creating all these arrays for the render function. So yeah, let's think here. This doesn't really matter. Guess, well, yeah, this is already going to be set. Because this bank is already going to be loaded when I start reading these values. Oh man. Wondering if I need an array to store these things. I don't think I do. I don't think I do. Let's see. I could get away without having an array of these scenes as well. Just thinking how I want to organize this last section here. Oh, how do I want to organize it? For this, I could just imagine that I'm just taking this shifting X by some amount. To push it to the next scene. You know what? I think I'm actually gonna split this. I'm gonna split this up. Size multi. I think it'll be easier if I just do this. Maybe. All right. Okay. That looks right. That looks right. Wait, that doesn't look right. Okay, now that looks right. All right, just thinking. Should I do the same thing for this one as well? I feel like it's just easier to split everything up. We just have to point to one of these things. Although I feel like, this one is just going to be ugly. Yeah. And these ones too, because they're kind of dynamic. I feel like these ones, I'll need an array of arrays, basically, for these things. I'll just split this one up as well. How should I do this? Low, maybe? High? Okay, low. This is low. And this is high. May not even need these these labels. Could probably just put them all on one row. Same with these and same with these. It's probably no. Yeah, it's probably not necessary. Yeah, just you, and then just you, and you. Yeah, by splitting this one up, to store an extra byte. But yeah, I wonder if it's ultimately more or less code that has to be written by splitting this up. It's probably, well, it depends on, I think, how much I have here. Like how long this, how many of these I have, I should say, not how long this one is. I think that depends. Okay. Yeah. These are going to be weird. Yeah, since they have different length, I'm basically going to need an array to tell me where these things are. Three, four. Yep, looks right. Two, three, four. And basically, this gets loaded into the 0 page and then dereferenced. These values get read. I feel like these other labels are just unnecessary. I think it's clear. I probably don't really need this. Yeah, I don't think I need level. So I need to know Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 things right now. Yeah, and I don't need all of this stored in RAM as an array. I just need to know this point, this starting point. Okay. This will have to come from somewhere else. Because this bank is all the same. All right, well, let me copy this. And just dump it. Okay. That all looks right. I need to find my cutscene code is. Here it is. Okay. So yeah. How do I want to do this? Arc 6. Ultimately, I can't just do this. I can't do that because this is a hard-coded value. This needs to be a variable. I need to be able to change this around. So I have to store this address. And yeah, since I need to be able to index it, right? This has to be a 0-page variable. And it has to be 2 bytes because it's an address. An address in my little 16-bit machine here. What should I call it? Probably something like, what, just scene size low, maybe? What should I call that guy? Yeah. Basically, at some point, like this is what it's going to look like, except obviously different names here. When I write to that that variable, yeah, like in that prep state, I'm going to have to do something like this. Shoot, what do I call it? Okay, I'm just going to call it like scene size. Just scene size? Ooh. I like to keep this here, just to remind me what the hell is an example. Like what this thing is actually supposed to be. Okay. Let's go back up to the top here. I don't need these huge arrays for these things. Yeah, originally I was just planning on just doing one of these things, not a whole array. Because I'm using an array now, and it's stored somewhere else, and I gotta get a pointer to it, this can't just be 1 byte. Because the pointer is 2 bytes. So I will move you to here. Okay. I really need to stick to a naming convention for these variables. I'm all over the place. All over the place. All over the place. Yeah. Okay. So that's the size, which really should be this thing. I'm gonna have to debug so much of this. I'm writing so much code without testing. Not sure if this one is necessary. In fact, it's not. Just gonna get rid of it. Okay, the multiplier. Multiplier. Same thing. Same thing. Just call it that. Okay. I called it this thing. MMC3, the other bank. Where should I store that bank? The state before this will have already switched over, but this subroutine still takes it. I can't remember if I already wrote something that stores this. Let me look. Let me look. Current scene index, X position, Y position for text, next level, next state. Yeah. Doesn't look like it. I guess, and doesn't need to be up here. Like, pointer crap has to be in here, but, yeah, this could be down here. Question is, where do I want it? Where do I want it? I guess I'll just put it here. I don't know. Stuff is kind of cam related. I'll just put it here. I'll just put it here. bank, same bank. Right, it's not being used. Bank. Arg5. Okay. How do I want to grab these guys? How do I want to grab these pointers? I just need to get the values from them. So I have the destination ones, right? Like arc 3 and 4. Essentially this, except okay, this is low goes to 4 for the PPU. And the scene stuff, it's basic. I don't know if I like this. Like, I feel like it's easier just to separate this in code. Well, let me finish this first. I'm kind of getting ahead of myself. What do I want to call this guy? I guess just scene PPU. Destination. This is always trippy. This indirect stuff. Three, yeah, high, 4 low. I don't know why I wrote it like this. It's so freaking funky. No, I think. Oh, okay, I understand. Okay, I see why I wrote it like this. Okay, okay. Yeah, okay. I was just thinking where the routine is going to exist for basically setting all this stuff. Thinking I should just put it in the same bank that gets swapped in here. And then from this sector of memory, I just call it a generic subroutine. So I swap banks and then call a subroutine that sits in that bank that sets all this stuff up. I think that will work. That way I'm not building up a bunch of unnecessary stuff in this, limited game engine space. Yeah, I think that will work. I think that will work. Yeah, it's just kind of weird because you're like doing two. You have to write 2 bytes just to get 1 byte back. Yeah, this is gonna be so weird. Because basically, since it's Little Indian, basically both of these are low, right? This is a low and this is a low, but this one's called high because what sits in here is the high byte. For the right. This, right? But in order to store this label, right, you need a low and a high. So I need like 2 variables for this and 2 variables for this. There's probably some better way of doing this, but none is coming to my mind right now. I'm just thinking like, yeah, how am I going to handle this thing? I think I have to split it up. I think I just have to split it up. The same way I split this one up. If I don't, and I had like, and I had them grouped together, would that make things easier or harder? Would that make it easier or harder? I feel like that just makes things harder. Whatever. I know what to do here. I know this works. I just need to do this. All right. Let me just write these variables. All right. Right, like if I really wanted to speed things up, like if speed was critical here, then I'd actually like use these arrays, like load stuff in RAM to be referenced, but it doesn't matter for this cutscene stuff. Speed is not important at all. And this needs to be in the 0 page. Some of this does not need to be in the 0 page. I really should just move it out. Actually, I could probably utilize some of this stuff. I don't think I'm using any of this. Nah, I should probably just keep it as... Keep it... It's like this... super sort of local variables. Okay. Yeah, this is low. This is high. Just put this here. What was the other one? So I should probably do, make these ones the low ones. And this is the high one. Low, low, high, high. And then basically I have to do the same thing. Oops. Do the same thing for scene data. Oh, how is this gonna work? How is that gonna work? that routine, I guess the routine will take care of it, because my job is just to supply it with the address. Just give it the address of that data, and it should, my routine should handle it properly. I guess I'll call it I don't know, source. Hopefully, okay, this is still in the 0 page. And this gets changed to high. And this is high. Yeah, low and high, low and high. Okay. So instead of this, just going to use this instead. And this needs to be reversed. Low, then high. Okay. 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 And this, yeah, that's level stuff. Here's cutscene stuff. Right, this is like the source. So like this, how this has low and high. I guess I'll call it like the same thing. Scene World 1. Program source low. And I need one for high. I'm probably going to do the same thing for this text. And now these are data bytes. Was it this? Okay. Less than is low. And greater than Okay, that looks right to me. Yeah, I still need to do this one. In case you're wondering why I need like two, right? Two of these. Like, why do I need low and high? It's because, again, this is 2 bytes. So I need the low one and the high one for this address. And that just gives me half of, what this is. And I need to get the other half, so I have to do the same thing here. That's why, this has to get this gets written to that. Because this is really split up in between these 2 labels. So it's like labels get split up a bunch of ways. And then kind of rebuilding it. And this just allows me to kind of scale up to some arbitrarily large array. So I don't have to limit myself to 8. With this, I can just be however big I want it to be. Well, not however big I want it to be, because it's ultimately kind of capped by the bank size here. There's ways I can get around that, but I'd have to engineer some solution. And one bank should be plenty big. Okay. Yep. Yep. And so that's why, like, yeah, this needs 2 bytes, this needs 2 bytes, right? This needs 2 bytes. Let me move this. Okay. So this looks all correct. arg1, arg2, arg3, arg4, arg5, arg6, arg7. And that does the drawing. Scene action. Oh, the rendering text, that's going to be a pain. I should probably focus on just testing this, debugging this, making sure this works before I move on to this other stuff. Yeah, like these are all challenges. Yeah, writing this cutscene stuff is probably going to take a while. Probably take me another week to finish. Just like maybe a day for this, a day for this, a day for this. Then just like a day testing. But I still need to make the system that populates this. Yeah, how will that work? How will the population work? Something I need to kind of think about. Yeah, I store the bank, swap the bank. I could just have it fixed. So the bank should be loaded in the same window. So I can hard code the jump. I think that's what needs to happen. Bank has to be hard coded, the same window. Okay, I think I'll do that. So I'm gonna have to remember that. Basically what I'm getting at is like this actually has to be the address. And every cutscene bank will have to have what I'm about to write here. How am I going to do this? Yeah, it's like in the main code, like in the main engine. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to, like, when the boss dies or I need to jump to a cutscene just at some position, I'm going to have to, like, you know, bank swap. Let's say I don't know, whatever I take in. It could be like, I could load the argument here. I don't, whatever, doesn't matter. In this case, it'd be like bank 10 bank swap. Oops. I'd also have to do this, actually. I'd have to store it in whatever I called that thing, like bank. What was it? What did I call it? I think it was the one that was like randomly way down here. Scene bank. Then I do this. Then what I do is I'd have to jump to $8,000. Jump right here. And in here, I'm just going to have code that loads this stuff, these addresses into RAM. That's all this is going to do. Yeah, and it can't be static in the sense that, like, this code can't be written into what I'm about to write here can't be written into the main engine because of the variability and sort of dynamic nature of like the size of these cutscenes, like the number, the actions, the size, the data. So yeah, that's why. And then they'll, I don't know. Done loading. Scene prep. Basically, this is going to jump to that label when it's finished. Following code must be at address 8000. The engine calls this from a fixed window and returns to fixed window. The code here just loads RAM with scene with pointers to scene labels for various what? The code here just loads RAM with pointers to scene labels for various, I don't know, settings. Such as where to draw graphics, what graphics to draw, how much graphics, text, etc. Good enough? Okay, and let me copy this. Okay, alright, so this needs to be initialized to 0. Oh, you know, now that I'm thinking about this more, like if I do this, if I'm just jumping to code in here, I don't have to have that generic stuff in the fixed window. And I probably wouldn't have to use RAM. Oh. The only problem is that I'd be copying and pasting that code every time for every bank. Because it's no longer generic, becomes fixed. It would increase the speed, but again, I don't really care about speed. But it would also save me space if I just copied and pasted into all these different banks. Because this memory's not as valuable as the fixed bank memory is. That real estate's worth a lot because it's way more limited. Because I can't just arbitrarily swap it out because it's fixed. So the question then becomes like, do I just want to write everything here? Or do I keep what I have? Probably easier to also write it here too. Although I know I can make it work the other way. How do I want to do this? How do I want to do this? It's a clever idea just to... yeah, I could totally just do everything from here. Yeah, and I would just reference this. Like my draw routine. It would just be... I guess effectively though, I'd have to like rewrite, like I have to copy so much code over and over and over again. Oh, I don't know. I don't know what would work best. Fuck. Yeah, one is generic. The footprint is like smaller. But that footprint sits in a region of memory that is very valuable. Whereas this one, the footprint is bigger, but the footprint sits in this memory that's not as valuable. I'm not sure what I want to go with. I'm not entirely certain which one I want to do. Do I just do kiss? I think the kiss routine would actually just be rewritten in here. Because the dynamic approach is always more complicated. It's complicated, it's slow. Yeah, and in this case, it's sitting in a region of memory that I kind of want to save. I kind of want to minimize, so I just don't like the idea of having to copy and paste. Basically a cutscene rendering engine in every bank. Hard code it for every scene. Because that will slow. I feel like that takes longer to develop then. And it's kind of clunky. Like if this was a library that I was writing, I wouldn't want to write it in here. I'd want to write it where I had it. Yeah, I think I need to think about this before I progress any further. Yeah, I might just load stuff in here. I might not. I need to think about this a bit more. Let's see. Yeah, and I've already been streaming for an hour, so I think I'll call it quits here. But yeah, I've got it structured in a way where, yeah, it's primed now for being shoved into the main fixed window. All this data. And I just need to shove it in right here and then return. And then execute, and then render, and do all those steps. Yeah. Yeah. I think I might just do that. I don't know. I kind of want to sleep on this a bit. Just let my brain crunch it a bit. Yeah, I think I'll stop here. All right. Yeah, so that'll be it. That'll be it for tonight. It's a bit of a short stream. Kind of want to try to keep these things to be just around an hour, but yeah, once I get in the middle of a problem, I really want to solve it because it's so much work then, to leave it and then come back to it, when you're in the middle of it, and then you have to kind of reload all that information in your mind, get the proper context back in. But this is kind of a nice stopping point, so I should be able to just jump back in and sort of reestablish what I was thinking. Yeah. All right. Yeah, it's a bit late. Anything else I want to say? I don't think so. All right, well, thanks for watching, everyone. Yeah, I'll pick up maybe tomorrow on finishing just the rendering portion of the cutscene engine. And then we'll go from there. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.